Welcome back to the Love and Liberty Podcast Fitness Series, where we strip away the noise, the fads, the gimmicks, and I do my best to bring you the truth and science that helped me lose 60 pounds and transform my own body to help you build the body, energy, health, and life you've been chasing. I'm LNL, and today we're diving into one of the most misunderstood pieces of the fitness puzzle. Why discipline will always beat motivation. And no, I don't mean a militaristic, painful kind of discipline, just one ultimately as easy as brushing your teeth. The discipline to weigh and track your food. When you know your inputs and outputs as well as your bank account, achieving the body composition you want will feel easy. And like me, you'll wonder why it took you so long to grasp this simple yet overwhelmingly powerful concept. If you rely on or wait for motivation to transform you, you're probably going to end up stalling out at best, or worse, you might backslide. Today, we talk about why our mindset matters so much, why a simple and easy form of discipline wins, how you can develop it easily, and how to use both to achieve the body composition you truly desire. When I first started my transformation, I wasn't thinking about discipline at all. That's not what the old me thought that I needed. So don't tune out if the word discipline sounds hard or painful. It's not going to be what you might be thinking. It's just the same level of discipline that makes you brush your teeth. When I started, I was constantly chasing the motivation to get my get back, waiting for that magical day where I'd feel like going to the gym again or feel like eating right. But the reality that I struggled to learn but finally learned is those motivated days are just too rare for most of us to achieve the results we imagine. And when the motivation finally does show up, it can disappear just as fast. The real shift in my mindset that ultimately made my 60-pound body transformation easy happened when I stopped asking if I felt like it and decided to make my health just another part of my daily hygiene. The discipline came from simply treating what needed to be done, tracking my calories and weighing my food. I'll say that again. What needed to be done was tracking my calories and weighing my food, as if it was any other form of daily hygiene. You don't think discipline when somebody mentions brushing teeth or showering, but that's actually what it is. We don't do those things because we're super motivated every day to do them. We do them because we know we need to set aside a little time to take care of ourselves. Weighing and tracking food is no different. The key to the body that you want is as simple and as complex as weighing and tracking your food, and having the patience and discipline to allow the process to work over the course of months. That simple shift in my mindset from what do I feel like doing, never felt like weighing and tracking my food. What a boring waste of time, right? Shifting from that to what would the disciplined version of me do right now? Started to bleed into every action. I bought a $10 food scale and I committed to using it, and I haven't looked back. I found a protein powder to make hitting my daily macro targets easy. Protein is the most important macro to hit every day. I started taking progress pictures and measurements so that I had real proof for myself to defeat my negative self-talk. The pictures and the measurements prevented my emotions from sabotaging me. They allow us to objectively judge our progress. I got a nutrition tracking app. The one that I use is $15 a month, but it's like having a personal nutrition coach for that price, which is a steal. And honestly, the nutrition tracking app was the most important part for me. I needed a professional to assign my eating targets and help me keep track of them, as well as adjust them weekly to my weekly average weight. So the app adjusts everything for me. I don't have to think about it. I got a multivitamin to cover all my micronutrient needs. So now my daily routine was not left to chance. I knew I had everything I needed to succeed and lose body fat. No different than buying your toothbrush, toothpaste, towel, soap, shampoo, conditioner, etc. Nutrition should become a part of your hygiene. My weight loss goals stopped being about short term hype, get back, and motivation. I stopped trying to motivate myself to hustle when I had lost all my energy, which is the trap of motivation based mindsets that almost always burn out. And I started being about building easy, repeatable systems of habit, weighing and tracking my food that made weight loss easy and almost automatic. I get it. Tracking calories sounds like a pain in the ass. The old me said I would never do that. That me scoffed at the idea as such a waste of time. That me was also 60 pounds heavier, with much less muscle, and his energy was completely cooked. I thought I knew what I needed to do back then, but I didn't. I thought what needed to be done to get back needed to be hard, but it didn't. It's not about pain or suffering, just simple, easy, repeatable discipline like hygiene. The mindset shift that made weight loss work for me was being convinced by PhDs in nutrition and physiology who are also bodybuilders and college professors that calorie tracking was the major key to achieving the body that I desired as quickly and as safely and as sustainably as possible. Because we don't want to burn out. We don't want to boomerang back to the old weight. We need a plan that we can keep for life and that's not hard, that's not too restrictive, that's doable. They taught me that weighing and tracking food was just like brushing teeth, trimming our nails, showering, or any other kind of personal hygiene we do on a daily basis. Like I said, we don't do those things because we're motivated. We do them for self-care, for health and maintenance. We do them every day because we know the long-term cost of skipping them. For me, calorie tracking had to become a non-negotiable hygiene habit. I couldn't look at it as a punishment. I had to see it as a form of self-care I desperately needed to get my energy back. And once you start doing it, it becomes easy after somewhere between 1 and a few weeks. After that, you'll barely think about it, but you will know for sure that every month you're moving closer to the body you desire, not further away, not treading water. No more guessing, no restrictive diets, your choices, but just fully informed, probably for the first time. Understanding the science of how fat loss and muscle gain work is like getting the cheat codes to having almost any body composition you desire over what is, relatively speaking, a short span of time, considering that once you get where you want to be, maintaining it becomes the easiest part. Part of tracking and weighing your food includes tracking your weekly weight average because day-to-day scale numbers can be deceptive. Plus or minus 1 to 3 pounds day-to-day fluctuation in weight is totally normal. On some days, because of high carb or salty meals, big glycogen shifts, dehydration or rehydration, poor sleep, menstrual cycle for women, people can even see a plus or minus 5 to 6 pound daily change without any fat or muscle change. This is why we must use a weekly average weight to determine whether our daily calorie intake is truly moving us towards or away from our body composition goals. A good nutrition tracking app will automatically make the adjustments needed to your upcoming macronutrient and calorie targets. A good tracking app adjusts your daily caloric budget based on your average weekly weight, and it ensures that you aren't losing too much or too little weight, because both matter, which we will discuss in more detail. But we have to be clear that we aren't going to react to the scale every day. We just log our weight consistently every day, average those weights each week, and then make smart, informed decisions based on the overall trend. Because even at the end of cutting or dieting phases, when we are feeling hungry and ready for a maintenance break, we know that our body has all the nutrients it needs and that we are losing fat as planned. And then after every 16 weeks of dieting, we give our body a break to recalibrate, where we maintain the new weight for at least half the time we spent dieting. So a 16-week diet ends in at least 8 weeks of maintaining the new weight. So 16 weeks of dieting, after that 8 weeks at least maintaining the new weight before we cut again. Or if we're exercising and we want to gain muscle, we do what's called a lean bulking phase, which we'll talk about in other videos. But again, every time we are cutting weight, it should go no longer than 16 weeks. And at the end of it, we need to maintain our new weight for at least half the time we spent cutting weight. We talked about why that matters more on last week's episode as well, so we're not going to rehash it as much today. Next, use progress pictures and measurements to kill the lies body dysmorphia will tell you. Your brain is a lousy historian for body changes. It adapts to your reflection daily, constantly fixates on your self-perceived flaws, and it overweighs yesterday's bloat. Photos and measurements cut through that negative self-talk. You never have to show those pictures and measurements to anyone else unless you want to. Do this for the future you, who I promise you needs you to hear this part. Do this. For pictures, same setup every time. Whatever morning you take them on, before food, same lighting each time, same spot, same distance, same pose, preferably front, side, and back. Relaxed posture. Weekly or even monthly is enough. And for your measurements, take 3 to 5 of these tape spots using a soft tape measure. Your waist at navel, your hips, chest, mid-thigh, flexed upper arm, and log them, take note of them to the nearest quarter inch. Look for trends over time, not single points. In addition, pair the photos and measurements with these 3 non-scale metrics to complete your weekly or monthly check-in. This is for people who are also exercising. If not, ignore this. Exercise is not required for weight loss. But if you are, one of the things that you're going to do when you check in is compare your strength by repetitions of a certain exercise at a fixed weight, like how many pull-ups, bench press at a set weight, squats at a set weight, how many push-ups, etc. B, how do your clothes fit? It's part of your check-in. Things like belt notches, whether your shirt or pants are tight or loose in certain areas. Just take brief notes of these type of things for each of your check-in and see your overall well-being. How is your sleep, energy, mood? Rate your overall well-being 1 to 10 and add this to your check-in notes as well. Why this all works equals why it's so important. The check-ins counter recency bias, which is our brain's inability to see our changes in the mirror day by day. Having an objective record obliterates negative emotions or self-doubt with evidence and proof. Check-ins reveal the quiet wins, waist size going down, seeing posture better, especially if you're incorporating exercise, and all the other positive body changes, even when weight loss seemingly stalls. All of this keeps you process focused, disciplined by controlling the inputs, any exercise, protein, calories, daily steps, sleep, and thereby controlling the outputs, your body composition success, instead of being paralyzed by negative feelings, self-doubt, or waiting for motivation or energy that never seem to come. Here is how you go ahead and make it start to stick. Go ahead right now and create a locked album called check-ins for your pictures and a locked or private note for your measurements and other check-in notes. Write objective captions like waist equals this many inches, hips equal this many inches, pull-ups this many reps, etc. Not any self-judgments, just facts. If photos are too triggering for you, shift to measurements plus notes only and keep the check-in frequency low every 2 to 4 weeks. Important. If body image distress is frequent or intense, you should loop in a qualified therapist. Training and nutrition land better when the mind is on your side. The bottom line for this segment is that systematic progress photos plus measurements plus check-in notes turn body dysmorphia's story into undeniable data. When the data says you're progressing, you can believe it over any negative self-talk. A couple more key points to highlight. Prioritize getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep. It's mandatory for both efficient fat loss and muscle growth. Keep your nightly wind down ritual consistent. Hit your protein every day, whether you're exercising or not, and eat just enough carbs and fats to refill the tank on high output days. And this is where you use a nutrition app or AI to determine your ideal daily calories and macro goals. I tell everybody, hit your daily nutrition and or weekly exercise goals 85 to 90% of the time, and you will make unbelievable progress over several months. That's enough to keep the fat loss and or muscle gain going without white knuckling through any type of misery. When you eat the right amount of daily macros, you'll never be too hungry at any point. And near the end of a cutting phase, when it always gets a little tougher, you will have the peace of mind knowing your body still for sure has everything it needs to perform for you, and you will know you are losing weight or building muscle in a way that you will be able to easily maintain for life. And you will know that every diet phase eventually ends, max of 16 weeks, and has a maintenance phase, which means increase in calories at the end of it. To keep hammering this point home as we get ready to wrap things up, motivation is like luck in a casino. Sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't. It's really unreliable. You cannot build a house or your body on motivation. Discipline, on the other hand, is completely in your control. It's just a simple decision to stick to a macro and calorie tracking diet because it's aggressive enough to excite you, but mild enough to sustain for life. Show up daily for yourself, whether you feel like it or not, just like with hygiene or other self-care. Push yourself when you have the energy to push, and hold back and recover when overdoing it will cost you consistency. Remember, sleep time is non-negotiable for success in weight loss or exercise. Discipline pays you compound interest. Every consistent day stacks on the one before it. Over time, you will be on a roll, building unstoppable momentum, and it won't have been luck, not hype, not motivation. It will just be you, who you really are. So here's my challenge for you this week. Stop waiting to feel like it. Commit to one thing you will do no matter what, whether it's tracking your food with a nutrition app for the first time or taking your before photos and measurements. Lock something new in like it's now a part of your daily hygiene. This week, commit to building a new habit of self-care. Because when simple and controllable discipline takes over, the results will take care of themselves. You really can put your results on autopilot with the simple change of weighing and tracking your food. It's both that simple and that complex. Thanks for listening to the Love and Liberty Fitness series on the Love and Liberty podcast. If today's episode gave you something worth working on, share it with someone else who needs to hear it. And remember, this is all within your power. Trust your power to care for yourself by simply tracking your macros and calories, and leverage your power to achieve whatever body you desire. Discipline beats motivation every darn time. Peace.